For several years, I lived in an old apartment building in a small coastal town. Being an insomniac, I often found it difficult to fall asleep, so I would go for long walks along the beach, listening to the waves crashing against the shore. Throughout those years, I had never encountered anything unsettling during my nighttime strolls. The salty sea breeze and the calming sounds of the ocean always put me at ease. But one fateful night changed everything. It was a Sunday, around midnight, and the moon was hidden behind a thick layer of clouds, casting an eerie darkness over the beach. There was a chill in the air, and the usually soothing waves seemed to crash with a sense of urgency. As I walked along the shore, I noticed something unusual. Farther down the beach, there was a figure standing near the water's edge, completely still. The figure appeared to be a man, tall and slender, wearing a tattered raincoat. Curiosity getting the better of me, I approached cautiously. The man didn't move an inch, even as the waves licked at his feet. As I got closer, I could make out his face. His eyes were wide open, unblinking, staring at the horizon. His mouth was stretched into a grotesque grin, teeth bared as if he was experiencing the utmost joy. Feeling uneasy, I decided to continue my walk, hoping he wouldn't follow. I kept glancing back to make sure he remained in place, and for a while, he did. But after I had walked a considerable distance, I turned around one more time to find him gone. I felt a momentary sense of relief until I noticed him again, further up the beach, closer to the dunes. He was standing there, just as before, but now he was facing me, his chilling grin unwavering. My heart raced as I began to walk faster, but when I looked back, the man was now walking towards me. His movements were unnatural and disjointed, as if he was a marionette being controlled by an inexperienced puppeteer. Each step seemed both calculated and chaotic. Fear gripped me, and I considered running, but I couldn't bring myself to turn my back on him. Instead, I continued walking, always watching him as he moved closer. Suddenly, he stopped, still a good distance away from me. His grin never faltered, and his eyes remained locked on mine. Gathering the courage to confront him, I stammered, Who are you?" The man didn't respond. He simply stood there, grinning, his gaze never leaving mine. The tension in the air was suffocating, and I could feel my palms sweating. After what felt like an eternity, the man slowly turned and began to walk away from me. But his movements had changed. He now walked with an unnatural gait, as if his limbs were disjointed, and he was being pulled along by some invisible force. Not wanting to let him out of my sight, I followed at a distance, keeping my eyes on him. The man continued his bizarre walk along the shoreline, eventually disappearing into the darkness. From that night on, I never dared to walk the beach alone again. The image of that man's twisted grin and unblinking eyes haunted me, a chilling reminder of the darkness that sometimes lurks in the shadows.